peaceful forest where tall green trees touched the sky and colorful flowers bloomed in every season. A clear river flowed gently through the forest, singing a soft song as it moved over smooth stones. Birds chirped happily in the morning, and at sunset the forest glowed with warm golden light. All the animals lived together in harmony and followed the natural rhythm of the land. In this forest lived a tortoise named Amani. He was not fast like the deer, strong like the lion, or clever in tricks like the fox, but he was known for something far more important: his wisdom and patience. Amani moved slowly, step by step, observing everything around him. He listened more than he spoke and thought deeply before acting. Many animals laughed at Amani because of his slow walk. Some ignored him, believing that speed and strength were the most valuable qualities in the forest. But Amani never felt angry or ashamed. He believed that nature itself taught an important lesson. Rivers move slowly, yet carve mountains, and trees grow patiently, yet stand strong for centuries. Every morning, Amani walked to the riverbank to enjoy the cool breeze and watch the sunlight dance on the water. He loved the peace of the forest and felt responsible for protecting its balance. While others chased power or praise, Amani cared only about harmony and safety for all. Little did the animals know that this quiet forest was about to face a great test, one that would prove that true leadership does not come from noise or force, but from calm thinking and wisdom. And at the center of this change would be the slow-moving tortoise whom everyone underestimated. One quiet morning, when the sun had just begun to rise, Amani the tortoise slowly walked toward the river as he did every day. The air was cool, and a thin layer of mist floated gently above the water. Birds were waking up, and the forest was calm and silent, as if it were holding a secret. As Amani reached the riverbank, something unusual caught his eye. Near the edge of the water, half covered by wet sand and shining softly, lay a strange golden object. At first, Amani thought it was a rock reflecting sunlight, but as he moved closer, he realized it was something much more special: a golden drum. The drum was beautifully crafted, with delicate patterns carved all around it. Even though no one was touching it, the drum seemed alive. When the breeze passed over it, a deep and gentle sound filled the air, making the water ripple and the nearby leaves tremble softly. Amani felt that this drum was not an ordinary object. It carried an ancient and powerful magic. Being wise and careful, Amani did not rush. He slowly circled the drum, observing it from every side. He touched it gently with the edge of his shell. Boom! The sound was calm but strong, spreading through the forest like a heartbeat. Amani immediately understood that the drum had the power to affect nature itself. He felt both curiosity and responsibility. Such power should never fall into careless hands, he thought. Instead of calling others right away, Amani stayed near the drum, guarding it quietly and thinking deeply about what should be done. Unknowingly, the sound had already begun to travel through the forest, calling the other animals toward the river. The discovery of the golden drum was about to change as the gentle echo of the golden drum faded into the forest. Amani remained quietly beside the river, deep in thought. He could feel that the sound was different from any ordinary noise. It was alive, powerful, and closely connected to nature itself. The air around him felt heavier, as if the forest was listening. Amani noticed small changes happening all around. When the drum's sound had been calm, the river flowed more smoothly. Birds returned to their nests, and the leaves stopped trembling. But when a sudden gust of wind struck the drum harder, the sound grew stronger, and the water splashed wildly against the stones. From this, Amani realized that the drum did not create power on its own. It responded to the intention of the one who played it. The wise tortoise understood an important truth: the golden drum could bring peace or chaos. If used gently and with respect, it could calm storms, guide rivers, and protect the forest. But in careless or greedy hands, it could frighten animals, destroy harmony, and disturb the balance of nature. Amani felt a heavy responsibility on his heart. He knew many animals believed that power meant control and loud strength. If such creatures discovered the drum without understanding it, the forest could suffer greatly. The drum was not a prize to be owned. It was a trust meant to be protected. Sitting silently by the river, Amani made a quiet promise to himself. He would not allow the drum to be misused. He would guide others to understand that true power came from wisdom, patience, and respect for nature. As distant sounds of approaching footsteps echoed through the trees, Amani lifted his head calmly. The animals were coming. The real test of wisdom was about to begin, and the golden drum's secret power would soon reveal the true nature of every creature in the forest. Soon, the calm forest began to fill with noise as animals from every corner rushed toward the riverbank. The deep echo of the golden drum had traveled far, calling them like a powerful signal. Deer arrived first, followed by monkeys jumping from branch to branch. Foxes came quietly, their eyes sharp with curiosity, and finally, the mighty lion, the king of the forest, appeared with heavy steps. At the center of the gathering stood Amani, calm and silent beside the golden drum. The animals stared in amazement at its shining surface. Whispers quickly turned into loud voices. "This drum must belong to the strongest," shouted the bear. "No, the fastest should own it," argued the deer. "The clever one deserves it," said the fox with a sly smile. Soon, the peaceful riverbank turned into a place of heated arguments. Everyone wanted the drum, believing it would give them power and control over others. No one thought about responsibility or consequences. In their excitement, they forgot the harmony that once defined the forest. Amani tried to speak, but his quiet voice was lost in the noise. The animals laughed when they noticed him standing near the drum. "What does a slow tortoise know about power?" some mocked. The lion raised his paw to silence the crowd. With a proud voice, he declared that such a powerful object should be used to prove leadership. His words made the others even more eager to claim the drum. The golden drum lay silently between them, reflecting their faces like a mirror, as if judging their intentions. The air grew tense, and the forest seemed uneasy. Birds stopped singing, and the wind stood still. Amani watched carefully, realizing that the animals' greed and pride were awakening the dangerous side of the drum's power. If wisdom did not guide them soon, the forest would pay the price. The moment had come for a true test, one that would reveal who truly deserved to stand near the golden drum. As the arguments grew louder, the golden drum seemed to glow even brighter, as if reacting to the restless energy around it. The animals stood in a wide circle, each believing they were the most worthy to claim the powerful object. Sensing the danger, Amani slowly stepped forward. In a calm and steady voice, he spoke. "This drum is not a toy or a trophy. It is a test. Whoever wishes to own it must prove they can use it wisely." His words surprised the crowd. Some animals laughed, while others paused, curious about what the tortoise meant. The lion agreed to the challenge, confident in his strength. One by one, the animals stepped forward to strike the drum. The bear hit it with all his force. Boom! The sound thundered through the forest, shaking trees and sending birds flying in fear. The monkeys beat it wildly, and the noise became harsh and confusing. The fox tried a clever rhythm, but even that created unease rather than peace. With every loud strike, the forest reacted. The river splashed violently against its banks, leaves fell like rain, and frightened animals ran for cover. What was meant to be a display of power turned into chaos. Slowly, the animals began to realize that something was wrong. The drum was not obeying them. It was revealing their intentions. Pride turned into worry. Strength and speed were not enough. The drum demanded understanding, patience, and respect. Finally, all eyes turned to Amani. The forest grew silent. Without arrogance or fear, the tortoise moved toward the drum. He did not strike it. Instead, he closed his eyes, waited, and listened to the rhythm of the river and the heartbeat of the forest. The test of wisdom had reached its most important moment, and the animals waited to see what the slow, quiet tortoise would do next. The forest stood completely silent as Amani slowly reached the golden drum. Unlike the others, he showed no excitement or pride. His movements were gentle, and his eyes reflected calm understanding. He placed one foot on the soft river sand and paused, listening carefully to the sounds around him, the flowing water, the whispering leaves, and the quiet breathing of the forest. Amani did not strike the drum with force. Instead, he lightly touched its surface with the edge of his shell. Boom! The sound was soft, deep, and steady. It did not shake the ground or frighten the birds. Instead, it spread like a warm wave across the riverbank. The change was immediate. The rushing river slowed into a smooth, peaceful flow. The trembling trees stood still, and frightened birds returned to their branches. The wind softened, and the air felt light again. The forest seemed to relax, as if it had been holding its breath. Amani tapped the drum once more, keeping the same gentle rhythm. With each calm beat, harmony returned. The animals felt their anger fade and their hearts grow quiet. They began to understand that the drum was not meant to be controlled, but to be respected. The lion lowered his head in silence. The bear stepped back, ashamed of his earlier pride. Even the clever fox realized that intelligence without wisdom was empty. All eyes were now filled with respect for the slow-moving tortoise they had once mocked. Amani looked at the animals and spoke softly. Power is not in loud strength or fast action. True power comes from patience, balance, and care for others. The golden drum glowed warmly, as if agreeing with him. Through his clever and calm act, Amani had shown the true purpose of the drum and proven that wisdom, not strength, was the greatest force of all. Free from judgment and expectation, she paused for a moment, letting the stillness settle around her. In that silence, she felt something rare and steady, certainty. Not the loud kind that needs validation, but the quiet kind that comes from self-respect. She understood now that choosing herself was not an act of defiance. It was an act of honesty. She had not rejected people out of fear or pride, but out of clarity. She knew the difference between companionship and connection, between attention and intention. That understanding had reshaped the way she moved through the world. There was strength in knowing she could wait. Strength in trusting that what was meant for her would not require her to abandon herself. She did not see her standards as walls, but as filters, allowing in only what aligned with her values and her peace. The world often pressures people, especially women, to settle quietly and quickly, to accept less in the name of security or social approval. But she had learned that self-betrayal is far more costly than solitude. Protecting her inner balance mattered more than fitting into anyone else's timeline. As she walked forward, she felt light, grounded, and complete. Whether someone would one day walk beside her was no longer a question that defined her worth. She was already whole. Her strength did not come from being chosen. It came from choosing wisely. And with that understanding, she moved ahead, calm, confident, and fully her own.